Hello, I'm Carolyn Sawyer, an entrepreneur and caregiver. Part of taking care of your health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is serious and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Up to 90% of South Carolinians who have it don't know they have it. Visit inittogethersc.org. Take an online test to find out your risk and join a diabetes prevention program. This message brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of SC.
Some events are great when experienced once, but sometimes you've got to do it again.
I got beans, greens, potatoes,
Avery
tomatoes,
Entertainment
lamb,
presents
ram,
the return of the You Name It Tour. Pastor Shirley Caesar headlines this dynamic encore. Saturday, November 12th at the Sumter County Civic Center. Also featuring
I'm from a poor family.
the Canton Spirituals.
We didn't have much,
Those Mississippi boys are coming.
but the Lord been good to me.
Doc McKenzie and the
I
highlights.
wanna live so God can use me anywhere.
The Gospel Legend and Roy and the Revelation. The return of the You Name It Tour. Saturday, November 12th at the Sumter County Civic Center. Doors open at 2. Program begins 3:45. Platinum, VIP, and advanced tickets available. Get them at Eventbrite. Imports limited in Sumter. House Musica and Undisputed Barbershop. For info, call 803-846-9872.
Well, good evening to everybody. Thank you so very much for joining us. We're going to have a great show on tonight. We had an excellent show on last night, and I want to give everybody a hand clap of thanks for you joining us on last night. I mean, it was a lot of information that was given out. Got a lot of responses from people enjoying the show, and I just want to say thank you. If it was not for you, the show would not have been successful. Let us do our greetings to you, Miss Rosa Peterson. Good evening to you, Miss Eartha Singleton. Good evening, Miss Mabel Williams from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Hello. There goes my friend from New York City, LaTracy Davenport. We say good evening to all of you. I think some of you were supposed to send me your address for the book that we showed on last night that the young lady was on. I think I got yours, LaTracy. Miss Mabel, you wanted one, but I did not receive your address. But so you make sure to get it to us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? We are happy. Hello there, Facebook user. Hello there, Kalia Collins. How you doing? Y'all hear me talk about this man all the time. Y'all hear me. Y'all see him on my Facebook page. This is my boss man. This is my boss man, and I am proud to call him my boss. He keeps me straight. You know, he know how to keep me straight, and I really appreciate him. And Sheriff Lott, I am just so honored that you came on tonight. And you know, I don't mind the world knowing that I think the world of you. You really have touched my life and been a big influence in my life. And most importantly, you make me want to do better.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm proud to have you part of our team at the Sheriff's Department.
Well, thank you so very much. So tell us, we know that you've been going here and there. I really don't know how you get any rest. I really don't. But you just don't do law enforcement thing, but you're very heavy in the community. Tell us a little bit about that. What keeps you going?
I just enjoy people. I enjoy getting out and meeting people and seeing people and listening to them and talking to them. I think I'm a people person. And for me, that's one of the fun part of my job is just meeting people. Just a few minutes ago, I stopped at a gas station and was gassing up and had 2 people come up and just want to talk to me and introduce themselves to me and thank me for the deputies and the great job they do. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's how you build relationships, is being available, just like being on the show makes me available to your listeners. And something I've done my whole career as being sheriff. This is the 25th year. And just imagine how many people in 25 years I've been able to touch and talk to and build relationships with. So that's the fun part of my job.
When you finished high school, was it your goal to become a sheriff?
No, my goal was actually to be a Major League Baseball player. That's what I grew up wanting to do, was be a Major
Mm-hmm.
League Baseball player. And I played baseball in high school and played baseball in college. And it was in college that I
Mm-hmm.
realized I was good, but I wasn't good enough to make the major league. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought about, okay, well, what am I going to do with my life? And it goes back to when I was 16 years old and I got arrested. And
Mm-hmm.
the versionary program I went through and how they influenced my life and got me on the right
Mm-hmm.
track. Not that I was a bad kid, but I was making stupid decisions like egging police cars. That's what I
Like doing what now?
egging police cars, throwing eggs at police cars.
You did that.
I did that and got caught doing that, and had to wash a lot of police cars and run a lot of wind sprints at football practice. So
Mm-hmm.
it got me realizing the consequences of my actions. And so when I realized what I want to do in my life, I said, you know what? They had a big influence on me. This is something I want to do too. So that's how I got into law enforcement, and never
Go
thought
ahead.
I'd be a sheriff. That was never in my career goals, was be a sheriff.
Do you have any regrets?
Not one bit. Not one bit. And in 1992, when I got fired, I thought, I didn't think the world was going to end. I just figured this was a bump in the road, that roller coaster of life. I was at the bottom, and it was up to me to climb back on top. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what got me to really think about being a sheriff, was going to St. Matthews, being a police chief, and people calling and saying, hey, you ought to run for sheriff. People coming to see me in St. Matthews saying, you ought to run for sheriff. And it was the people who convinced me to run for sheriff, and I did in 1996, and here I am. 7 terms later, I'm still here.
What's the difference back then than now?
Technology. I think technology is a whole lot better than what we had back then, but also our attitudes. I think we had to change our attitudes and what our job really is, and it's not just to lock people up. It's to go out here and keep the peace and make sure that our community is safe and working with our community. So I think we've changed our whole philosophy about what we do wearing this uniform. And then technology is just out of this world with technology, with DNA and facial recognition and cameras and all the stuff that's out there now. It's been a game changer. I think that's one of the biggest things that has helped us have more tools in our toolbox, has been the technology.
Do you ever get scared? Well, maybe I shouldn't ask that question.
No, and no, and there's a difference between being scared and being afraid. If you're scared, that makes you cautious, but allows you to do your job. I think
Mm-hmm.
chicken, and you pass that afraid part in your chicken, that's where you can't do your job. So any cop who tells you they've never been scared, they're lying to you. I mean, that's part of this job. It's a dangerous job. So there's been lots of times that, and it really happens afterwards. It's after something happened that think about it. Well, this could have happened, but I've never let that be my focus. I've never worried about that. I've been
Mm-hmm.
in dangerous situations. A lot of things have happened to me, and I just never focus on that. I've always focused on the good things that happen. So I don't dwell on somebody trying to kill me or somebody trying to hurt me, or even when somebody says something bad, I don't focus on that. I focus on so many good things in life. And I guess one of my favorite expressions is, I'm too blessed to be stressed, and I'm
All
not.
right now.
And I'm not going to be stressed. I've just never been a person that's been stressed, and
Mm-hmm.
just that. But that's not since I've been sheriff. That's the way I've always kind of been.
Well, people with your status, you wouldn't find many of them that just go places by themselves like you do. They would have to have security.
Well, I
But
don't need
you,
no. And I was on another radio talk show today. A good friend of ours, Don Frierson show, Urban Center.
mm-hmm.
And we talked about that there was a march that happened from the Bishop all the way through the Colony, and
Mm-hmm.
then at Benfield Center where it ended. And when it was over, me and Mackenzie, we walked back, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't ride no car with nobody. I didn't need anybody to ride. Me and Mackenzie just walked through the Colony, walked through the Bishop. We talked
Mm-hmm.
to kids, we talked to the people. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I'm not scared. I don't need a driver. Never had a driver. Never had a security detail. I don't need that. I got my gun. I know how to be a cop. I'm still a cop. So it's just not that. And I think, and don't take this the wrong way, I think there's more people who love me and love me job I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, I don't focus on that. I focus on the good stuff.
Well, I do know that them black and gray cars got respect. Oh, they got respect. When they see them black and gray cars, oh, they're going to start doing what they're doing.
But you know what? I think people respect us because they know we're going to be fair. We're going to treat people right. We're going to be fair. We're going to be firm too. You break the law, we're going to get you. And this past weekend, we had a chase with a guy, and we caught him. And when the chase was over, and they were talking to him, he said, "I thought y'all had a no chase policy." And the deputy there said, "Oh no, that's not us. We're gonna run you till the wheels come off because we're gonna catch you." And that's our philosophy. We're not gonna let bad guys get away, because if they do get away, then they may go out and victimize somebody else, and that falls back on me. Why didn't I get the first time? Why did I not catch them and allow them to go out and hurt somebody else? So we're gonna catch the bad guys.
Let me ask you this: on Patrol Live 2 weeks ago, it was they chased this man from Fair Road all across right down North Main, and he never was arrested, had a clear record, but he said he had let his car insurance lapse.
Right.
And they told him, they said, all you would have had to do was stop. You got a ticket for that, but now you got all these other charges. Is there nothing that can be done in that case? He was just scared.
He'll probably get some help when it goes to court. Our deputies are not that cruel. When it goes to court, they'll look at the charges and probably reduce some of the charges, and probably even dismiss some of the charges. He didn't fight him. He didn't run from him. He was stupid and made a bad decision, and learned from that. So yeah, they'll cut him a break.
What about the young guy that was running with Salmon this past weekend?
Oh, that's where they got the foot race?
Yeah.
And let me tell you that I don't watch the show.
Oh, you don't watch it?
I sit down Friday and Saturday nights. Well, I trust my people. I believe in them and I trust them. So there's no need for me to sit there and watch them and think, oh my goodness, what are they doing? So no, I don't watch it. But you know, something like that, somebody will call and then it's videotaped and I'll look at it. Yeah. You know, he Braylon Salmons got out here and had this young guy, and they got in a foot race, and my deputy got beat, and I picked that.
Yeah.
But that showed how human we are, and that's why we got on that show. Is take that uniform off of people, not literally, but take it off of them so they can see the real person behind him. He wasn't doing that for the show. That is how he is. Dad worked with us. His dad retired from us, and unfortunately, his dad passed away shortly after he retired. And Braylon worked for the city of Columbia. But to me, after his dad died, said, you know what, I want to follow my dad's footsteps, and I want to work for Richland County. So that's why he came to us. And he's done a great job. He's a people person. Look at him. Listen to him. He's a people person.
Is he married?
No, ma'am, he's not.
Woo! Is he young? Is he young?
He's young. He's young.
Oh, well, that count me out then.
But he is just a great example of the many that we've got at the Sheriff's Department and that are just like him. And I think that show has highlighted those deputies. It's done a great job and letting people get to know who our people are. And people say, why aren't you on the show? It ain't about me. I will not be on the show. I purposely will not be on that show because I don't want to be focused on me. I want them to be focused on the deputies and who. That's why you won't see me on the show. Well,
how proud are you of Curtis Wilson?
Curtis has done a great job. Look at Curtis. He's in that studio. All the, I guess, TV people or cops throughout the whole United States, who did they pick? Curtis Wilson. Because when the other show was on, you know, Curtis was a part of it. He was on the show and he did some highlight stuff for him. And they saw how good Curtis is. So, I mean, Curtis is just perfect for that job, but he represents us. You know, every time they introduce Richland County Sheriff's Department, that lets people know who we are. And so we're very proud of Curtis. He's done a fantastic job.
I watch it every Friday and Saturday, and they talk very good about the Richland County Sheriff Department. I mean, they talk about your leadership and everything.
Well, again, it's not about me, and it's about the men and women who wear this uniform and get out here every single day. And we were the original agency on the very first show, and we've been the only one through all these years. And people waited for 2 years for it to come back, and it's like it never missed a beat. It's still the number one.
I see you. Are you there? Are you there? Let's see. He froze up on me. He froze up on me. Sheriff Lott, can you hear me? You froze up on me. Okay. You have froze up on me.
We back now. We back live.
Yeah. Golly. You was telling me about the show 2 years ago, I think.
Right. And 2 years ago, it went off the air and it came back on. It's like it never missed a beat.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most popular show on Friday and Saturday nights. People and lots of viewers. And for 2 years, that was the number one question I got asked. When's it coming back? When's it coming back? Keep telling people it'll be back. And it took 2 years, but it's back and it's full.
You have people not just in Richland County, but you have people all over that just think the world of you. And I know you humble and all of that, but you got to feel good that you really made a name for yourself.
Well, I think the men and women of the Sheriff's Department is what's made my name, because everything that they go get out and do, it reflects back on me. So, it's easy being a leader when you have great people, and I do. And that's those who are at the top all the way down to the very bottom. We have great people who go out here and do a good job, and they know that what I expect out of them. And I don't set minimum standards. I expect standards excellence. I set the standard high as I can be. You know that. I mean, you know what I expect, and I don't expect
Yes, Lord. Yes.
second class on anything. We're going to do everything first class, and that reflects on our whole agency. And people do notice it. It's one of those things that people have noticed what we do, and other people talk about us. We don't have to blow our own horn. I don't believe in that. I think if we go out here and do the right thing, then the citizens are going to blow the horn for us.
But Sheriff Lott, you say it's the employees, but if they didn't have a good leader, they wouldn't be able to do the things that they do. They got a leader that believe in what they do.
Right. I have three main missions, and I tell people this all the time, and it's all about taking care of our people. My job is to give them the best training, the equipment, and the best support. That's the things that our main priorities for me is that training, the equipment, and the support, and that comes from me giving them a direction that they need to go, and then get out of their way and let them go do their job. We got 900 people at the Sheriff's Department. I don't need to micromanage them. I trust them. I give them a lot of trust and expect them. They know what I expect from them, and go out and they go do it.
Somebody just mentioned your birthday. You got a birthday coming up, October the 2nd?
October the 3rd.
October the 3rd.
But there's a big birthday party for me on October the 2nd. Miss Janie Randolph always throws a big birthday party for me down in the Lower Richland area, and it's scheduled October the 2nd. And my assistant, Sam Pinckney, that's actually her birthday is on October the 2nd. So we're going to celebrate.
Oh, really?
We're going to celebrate both of us on that Sunday.
Oh, okay. You know I'm going to be there taking pictures.
I know that. You don't miss a beating coming out.
Is it open for anybody?
It's pretty much open. It'll be at Lower Richland. It'll be Region 1 headquarters at Lower Richland High School. But you talk about people. You're one of our team too. Look at what you do with your ministries. Look what you do out there. Your outreach that you do to people. Look what you do with this show here. I mean, you have different guests on here who give out information to the community that people can use. So, that's why you're on our team too. It's not just because of the good looks you got. It's because of the good work you do. I mean, you do good work in the community. So you're a reflection of the Sheriff's Department too. So when you go out and you do stuff in the community, people know that you're doing it as part of the Richland County Sheriff's Department, our senior program, Project Hope. And that's a reflection on us.
Can you tell us a little bit about two incidents that you had? One with the the guy, the police officer that got ambushed, and with the young lady who got ran over.
Right, and I'm gonna start with the second one first. The young lady got run over, Sarah Merriman. Got great news today. She is in 2 weeks. She's going to be released to come back to work. So she's rehabbed real hard. She's done a good job. It was a very dangerous situation. She could have lost her life. It's not that the young man didn't try to kill her when he backed over on her purpose and ran over her. But it was a 17-year-old who was already wanted, who was out on bond, and he was in a stolen car trying to sell some stolen stuff, and he just ran right over her. But fortunately, she survived, and she's be coming back to work soon. And the other incident you talked about was where we had a guy that we have no clue why he ambushed the deputies. His intent was to kill the deputies, and how do we know that? We found that in writing in his house, where he laid his plan out in writing, his shooting points, where he's going to shoot the deputies from, and what all he's going to do. And fortunately, his plan didn't work, and he ended up committing suicide. And we were very lucky. But again, that goes back to the training. The deputy's car that he was shooting at was able to use his training to quickly get out of that situation, and that helped prevent him from losing his life also. But it's a dangerous job. That's just two cases that shows just how dangerous it is out there. But again, we don't focus just on the dangerous stuff and the bad stuff. We focus on the good things, all the good stuff we do.
I saw another incident on Patrol Live with Richland County when someone had kidnapped somebody, and they jumped out of the car and they ran in the woods, and that canine found them and grabbed a hold of that leg, and that deputy had to get that mouth off of that leg. Those dogs are that powerful?
Those dogs are that powerful, yeah. And again, and that was Deputy Merriman and her dog, the one who was injured and almost lost her life. So again, but those dogs are that powerful, but their nose is so strong, and they just have that drive to go out and track people and catch the bad guys. And that's what they did that night, was they caught that bad guy in the woods who was hiding.
How long do it take to train a dog like that?
It's not so much training the dog as training the person. The dog,
really?
The dog knows what to do. The dog is, got the instinct and knows what to do. We have to train the person to understand what the dog is doing, understand the clues and cues that the dog gives on, this is the direction I want to go. This is the track I want to follow. And so they become partners. You spend more time with that dog than you do with your family. The dog goes home with them. It stays with them all the time. They at work with them. They're at home with them. So the bond that they build with those dogs is just fantastic.
Now let's flip this conversation to our young people. What can we do as citizens to help our young people with all this gun violence?
Well, first thing we can do is find ways to keep them busy and doing something positive. And I'm an example of that. When I was out throwing those eggs that weekend, we was bored. Me and my friends were bored, so we decided we'd go do that. So we weren't doing anything positive. Having young people go do, helping out. Some parents just need help in being a parent. So a community's got to step forward. And, we've always heard it takes a village to raise a child, and that's so true. We're part of that village. That's law enforcement, my job. That's you with your ministries. That's you as a person. It's all of it, your listeners. We can all contribute to help somebody out and help a child out. And that's the village. We are the village, but we have to get involved. You just can't say, well, that's not my child, I don't care. They are all our kids. They might not be our biological kids, but they are our kids. So we can do things as a community to make sure our young people stay busy and doing something positive.
Have parents failed their kids? Not all parents. Parents.
I think parents want to be more of a friend than a parent. And I've told Mackenzie all the time, I'm not your best friend, I'm your daddy. And there's rules, and you're going to follow those rules as long as you live in my house. And that's what you have to do as a parent. That actually setting rules shows that child that you love them and you care for them.
Mm-hmm.
Some parents that just let kids do whatever they want to, and they think, oh, that's showing them love. That's not showing them love. And
Mm-hmm.
a real parent knows who the friends are, know where they're going, knows everything about them. There ain't no privacy in the house. They ain't closing that door. They ain't locking that door. I want to know what's in the drawers. I want to know what's in their book bags. I want to know everything about them. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what a parent does. And we have parents or adults who live in a house with a child who's not a parent. They don't care about those things that I just talked about. And that's where we lose some of these young people. Be a parent. And you're a parent all the time. It's not just 3 or 4 days a week. It is 7 days a week, 365, 24/7. You can stop, never stop. Mackenzie's in her second year of college. I can tell you right now exactly where she's at and what she's doing. My older girls, I can tell you exactly where they're at and what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in their 40s with kids, their own children, but they're still my daughters. And so I'm still the dad, and I'm still going to know what's going on with them. That's what a parent, and I'm nothing special. That's my parents. And they pass me. I'm passing that on to my children also.
Miss Martin said, what do you do if parents don't want you to say anything to their child?
But then say it to the parent. Say it to the parent. That's what you might not want to say it to the child. You say it to the parent. You need to get your child under control. And we don't speak up enough. We're scared. We don't want to say something. And then when you don't say something, that just empowers that young person to continue to do something wrong because you allow them to do it. Say something. Say something. Young people today are not being taught respect. You ask any school teacher what kind of respect they get in the classroom. You ask somebody wears his uniform. There's a lack of respect. We're not teaching our kids how to respect adults, elders, authority. And so they think they can do anything. No, not in front of me. They're just not going to do that.
Do you think that that's the problem that the teachers are having at school, because they know that they can't say anything to the kids because the parent will come out there and fuss them out?
Right. And that's the parent fault. I mean, when I was growing up, teachers were right. The teacher, there was a grade on our report called conduct. That means in school. I got a C one time. My daddy wore my butt out and told me, son, you don't have to study to keep your mouth shut. And I never did that again. And it taught me that you respect teachers. But now we have parents who say, my poor little Johnny never does anything wrong. Well, little Johnny's a hellion. You understand that you're only making it worse by taking up for him whenever he does something wrong. And that's the way life is. And we teach kids that at an early age, and they go through life thinking that's the way it is. So they're going to go their way. You got to teach kids how to fail. We're all going to fail at some point. But failure is an event. That's not a person. And so, we have to teach our young people, they're going to fail sometime.
But would you not agree that some of the young people just need to hear their parents say, I love you?
Yeah. I mean, that's two of the greatest gifts you can give your child. Don't come from a store. That's your time and your love. Don't cost nothing to spend time with them, and it don't cost anything to show them that you love them. And, as they get in teenage years, they may act like they don't want to hear that. They want to hear that. They still want. But yeah, parents need to be that parent and tell them how much you love them, that you love them, and that you're going to you spend time with them. We're sitting here talking on these devices now, computers and phones and stuff like that. That is not a substitute for the time that you spend with your child. Spend that time with them. Don't get them a computer or a phone so they can go off in the corner and spend all their time there while you go off and do something else. That's being a parent. You got to spend time with them.
What about the church plays a big part, but you have parents that will get up and go to church and leave their children home in the bed?
Loretta, I'm going to tell you, when growing up, I was a drug addict. And my parents caused me to be a drug addict. And I was a drug addict on the weekends. Every Sunday, they drug my butt to church. And I thanked them. And I didn't thank them when I was a teenager, but I thank them today. You didn't have use. You went to church. And if my parents weren't able to take me to church, my grandparents took me to church.
Mm-hmm.
We don't kids who don't go to church is the ones we have problems with. But a church is not just the four walls.
Mm-hmm.
Church got to get out of those four walls. And when we were growing up, yeah, everybody went to the church, and the four walls is where you went. It's not that way. You got to get out in the community where these kids are and
Mm-hmm.
reach them there. You just can't expect them to come through that church door on Sunday. You got to go out in that community, and you got to find them, and you got to talk to them, and you got to encourage them and be part of their life. And that's part of that village that we need.
You know, and that is so true. Now, I'm not just saying this because you're my boss, but I watched the collaboration with you and young people, and they love you. They don't run from you. Sheriff Lott, Sheriff Lott. I mean, that says a lot.
Because I don't want to be like I'm anything special. I mean, I'm just me, and I hope that they see that, and I think that's, and a lot of them has seen me come to the schools and read books and spend time with schools. I do that. I love doing that, going to schools and spending time with kids and reading to them, and different programs that we got. I try to be at as many of them I can, just to meet kids.
Mm-hmm.
Being around as long as I have, I've got kids now that saw me come read to them when they were in second, third grade. Now are parents, and I'm reading to their kids.
Wow.
So they tell, that's Sheriff Lott. He read to me when I was in the second grade. Now he's reading to you. And so again, that goes back to building relationships with people.
Freddie Sumpter says, suppose you have one parent trying to discipline their children and the other parent is not.
Well, then that parent that's doing the discipline needs to be the one that's going to take charge. But again, as parents, that's what it's no different. Bridget, my wife, she's the one that, always pat Mackenzie on the back and stuff. I'm the disciplinarian, but we complement each other. That's what we both do. And
Mm-hmm.
she's got her way of discipline Mackenzie. I've got my way of discipline Mackenzie. And it's always been that way. So, but you can do that at two parents or even a one parent family. It doesn't matter if you got two parents or one parent. It's the fact that you are a parent. That's what counts the most.
Do you think okay, I guess I can use this because it was all on the news. When those 7, 8, and 9-year-olds vandalized that church,
Right.
and it was 3 a.m. in the morning, where were the parents?
That's exactly what I asked the same questions too. And the answer we got was one, they were staying with the grandparents. Grandparents were in charge, and they didn't know they had gotten out. And they didn't vandalize at church one time, it was 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Same time. This was a Sunday night, Monday morning. They had to go to school the next day, and they're out here at 3 o'clock in the morning. No, you got to do better than that as a grandparent or a parent. You can't allow children to run wild and be able to do stuff like that.
Do you think they'll do it again?
I don't know. I don't know. I hope that they learned a lesson from this, but it's a lot's got to do with what goes on at home. That's our best defense against a lot of this stuff is the home. The home parents have got to be more involved in it. We can do our part, but parents have got to do their part too.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. This is another thing that was in the news, and the guy who pretended to be the Uber driver,
Right,
and killed the young lady. It's nowhere in the world he realized what he did. Now listen to me now. He had to be spaced out. He had to be on some kind of drug. Sheriff Lott, if you know you killed somebody and the police looking for you, why would you go to the same place the next morning?
so they don't think they'll ever get caught. They think they're so smart and they commit the perfect crime. They don't think they'll get caught. So it's not always drugs. It's just we got mean people in the world who do things to other people. But they none of these guys or girls who go out here and break the law, they think they're going to get caught. They always think they're so smart, and they did the perfect crime, and we're stupid. We're not going to catch them. So So it's not always drugs who is the cause of something like that. That just means
Who in their right mind will go back to the same area in the same car?
because he had no clue that anybody knew that he had done what he'd done the night before. He didn't know that we knew what kind of car to look for. He didn't know that. He didn't know that he was on film and that we knew what to look for. He didn't know that, because that wasn't publicized to where he would see it. So what did he have the fear? He was just going to keep the same routine and do what he's normally done. You know, and I hate to use this analogy. It's like rabbit hunting. When you jump a rabbit, they're going to run a circle. Guess where they're going to end up at? Right where they first started.
Mm-hmm.
Do the same thing. When we have bad guys on the run, they may run a long ways. Eventually, they'll come right back to where they started from, because that's where they feel comfortable. That's where they know the lay of the land. So that's how we catch them.
Wow. What is the most devastating crime that you've seen?
Kids being killed, abuse and kids being killed. There's nothing worse than abusing a young person or a senior citizen, and see somebody, the things that they can do to a young child. I have a hard time really dealing with that, and that's tough for anybody who has any feelings whatsoever to deal with. But we have to. That's our job. But that's the most devastating things I've seen in my career is when young people, and I'm talking about babies and toddlers, how they can be abused and killed.
How did it affect you with Gabby?
Well, that's something that I'll always carry with me. The fact that that I had to tell her mom, and I did that recently with Shania, the young lady that was kidnapped. I had to tell her mom and dad, and that's never an easy thing to do. But I made promises to them that I would bring their loved one home, their daughter home, and I promised Avia that I'd bring Gabby home, and I just was hoping I could bring her home alive. But I wanted her to have some closure, and we had to make a deal with the devil, which was Freddie Grant, the bad guy. But it took us a year, but we did, and we brought Gabby home, and and people still remember that. I think that impact this community so much.
Yes.
So innocent, and to be kidnapped from your bed while your mom's at work, and then just can't find her, and pretty much everybody knows in their heart that she's been murdered, but we don't know where she's at. So
but here's another one. He's walking with y'all looking for her,
right,
knowing what he had done.
right, yep.
That was awful.
That is cold-blooded, and that's, again, we just got mean, cold-blooded people that live amongst us. He was one of them, but we caught him, and he's in prison. That's exactly where he needs to be. And Gabby's mom knows where Gabby's at, and we brought her home.
Dina said, "What are the age of going to jail?"
The age of going to jail, a lot depends on your crime. I mean, probably under 12 years old, you're not going to go to jail. So we look at the crime, and then we look at the age. So, if you're under 12, you're probably not going to go to jail unless you've committed a murder or something like that. Then that's a totally different story at that point. But the age of juveniles now are 17 and younger. You used to be 16, but now at 17. So 17 is still considered a juvenile.
Now, you have absolutely nothing to do with Avernus Glen, right?
Not one single thing to do with that. No, nothing. No, nothing whatsoever. It's not in my power or authority at all, for nothing to do with the jail.
Well, I guess I asked that because you're always finding people that's getting beat up, and one here recently that got killed. It's horrible down there, they say.
And we investigate crimes there. So when somebody does get beat up, or somebody gets hurt, or somebody dies, then we're responsible for doing the investigation. So yes, the things you just described, we see that. We see that.
Well, I heard one of the guards say when I went down there for my nephew, You did it. You in here. You did it. So you suffer the consequences. That's the way they feel.
Right.
But that's not right. To sit there and let somebody beat them, I mean.
Right. That's not right. Just because you have made a bad choice and you've got arrested and you're in jail does not mean that you can be abused. That crosses the line when you're either physically or even psychologically abused. That's not what a detention center is supposed to be about.
Mm-hmm. When someone comes in our house and invades our property and we shoot to kill, will we go to jail?
No. Somebody breaks in your house at 3 o'clock in the morning, they ain't coming to have a cup of coffee with you, Loretta. They're coming in there to do something else. And so you have a right to protect yourself. So no, you're not.
Wow. I tell you, this is just absolutely amazing. Now, you've been sheriff for 26 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And you ain't no ways tired.
No.
But it's going to be hard for somebody to follow in your footsteps. No, I mean that because you're my boss. But look, your work speaks all over the world.
But I've got young people and experienced people at the sheriff's department that's being groomed. Nobody ever thought I'd be a sheriff. When I started in 1975, they didn't think I'd make it as a deputy. Nobody would be where I'm at today. So, but it took a lot of people to help me out through my career, and that's what I'm doing now is helping those out in their career, become sheriffs and chiefs and agency heads and different things. And so there'll be somebody to step up and be ready to take over one of these days when I leave. No time soon. As long as the voters want me, I'm staying here because I still love every minute of it and still got the energy to do it. Up at 8 o'clock this morning, going to the gym, working out, and here it is almost 8 o'clock tonight, and we're still going strong.
Yeah, but I'm not going to keep you too long. We've been talking about an hour, but it's so many people that kept asking, when are you going to get Sheriff Lott back on? When are you going to get Sheriff Lott back on? I mean, people just love Sheriff Lott. And, I always have to tell the story, because when I first met you, I thought you was just mean. I could never get you to smile. I'll be over there at the radio station and I'll say, hey, Sheriff Lott. And you can do it nonchalant. Hey. And just keep on going,
I was focused on my radio show. But look at us now.
Yeah, look at us now. Look at us now.
See how wrong you are? I wasn't mean.
No, you weren't mean, but I tell you, I was scared. I said, I hope I will never do nothing where he have to come and pick me up or nothing. I hope I will never do nothing.
I ain't gonna worry about you doing anything like that. You do too much good stuff in the community.
What is your highs and lows as a sheriff?
The lows is people dying, and that's people that work for me, and citizens dying. That's the lows. The highs is doing something like this, just having fun and talking about stuff and promoting what we do at the sheriff's department. And got some listeners I probably never met face to face, but now they know more about me because of so that to me those are the highs, and going to read books to kids and spending time with kids and watching them grow up. That's
Now, we always see people giving you gifts, bringing you stuff at the sheriff department. Now, I want to ask this in front of all these people. When you going to give me permission to come and shop in there?
Those gifts that people bring, all the food and stuff they bring, I give all that to the deputies. That's who gets all that stuff.
No, you get some good other stuff too.
But they all go to the deputies. I think they work hard, and they don't get the pay that they deserve. So I make sure that they get everything that comes in there. I'm good. I'm simple. I don't live a simple life. I don't need a whole lot. And, so I just make sure my people are taken care of.
Freddie said, I don't know if this is true, but I've always heard that if someone breaks into your house, make sure they're in your house if you shoot them and not outside. That's
a wives' tale. That is not true. What determine the factor is that is your life in danger. Okay, so Loretta, at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you got somebody man, woman, or whatever that's breaking in your window to crawl in your window, you ain't got to wait till they crawl in the window, because, again, they ain't coming to have a cup of coffee with them. You go ahead and take care of what you got to do, because your life is in danger. You don't have to wait till they get inside. That's one of those wives' tales that's been spread for so many years. But again, you got to make sure your life's got to be in danger, or somebody else's life is in danger, before you can take someone's life. And so, somebody takes your bicycle off your porch and they riding down the street on your bicycle, don't be shooting them in the back. That's a different story. Your life's lying in danger because they're leaving, they're going away. Person who's coming in your house through your door, your window, that's a threat to your life, so you can protect yourself.
During the Christmas holidays last year, it was these group of young boys leaving this club, and they just, they had the guns and they were just shooting up in the air and shooting, but they killed somebody. How they still got to go to court, but how is it going to be just as hard if they had intended to kill them?
Probably not. No, that's not premeditated murder. They wasn't decided that they were going to kill somebody, but they have to be held accountable for their actions, and it took someone's life. So yes, they'll be held accountable. But that's what our court system looks at: the facts of a case, all the facts, not just the fact that somebody's dead, and what's the facts surrounding that, and that's in taking into consideration doing sentencing.
This young lady that they found at Columbiana today, that was dead, that they hadn't heard from since Thursday. You heard about that?
Yes, ma'am. Found her working in the store.
But now, is that what's the word? Is that foul play? How you gonna, people coming in and out, how you not gonna know that somebody's in there, and even that smell?
Well, evidently it hadn't got to that point yet. So again, that's where the coroner's office comes. They have to determine the cause of death, and at this point they said there's been no foul play. So, we have to go by what they say.
That's why it's important to, if you have nobody, you need to be a part of Project Hope, because they will call and check on you, and you don't have to see that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and today Tuesday. That's 5 days.
Right.
That's 5 days. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm shaking my head too, but
how in the world that? Well, anyway,
I mean, you got it. Passed away from natural causes. It's just nobody checked on it to where she was at. So that's sad.
What is there any help? I know we have Project Hope for senior citizens, but you have so many senior citizens that get scammed.
Right.
What can be done, if anything?
Well, we try to educate them. To me, education is the key to that. So we try to educate our seniors on, how to avoid these scams, not to become a victim. I go out and speak to different groups all the time of senior citizens, and that's what I teach them. And we just need to continue doing that and educating senior citizens on, you don't have to give people information over the phone. You don't have to respond to emails, and there's ways to stop it. You just have to use your head and use common sense, and not be intimidated by them. It's easy to get them off the phone. Just hang the phone up. They can't come online and choke you, so just hang the phone up on them. If you don't know who it is on the other end, don't answer. Don't talk to them. The same way if somebody knocks on your door, you don't know. Don't open that door. Don't do it.
A dog is really good for them to have too.
Oh yeah, dogs make a lot of noise. You know that. You got 2 little old dogs.
Yeah.
They mean too. They'll nip you in a heartbeat.
Yeah. It's a Duke Energy scam going on now. Beware. Just hang up. Well, if I answer my phone and I don't know the number, I answer the phone Pizza Hut. And they say, I'm sorry, I got the wrong number.
Right.
The next time I might be a store.
How you do?
Kind of hot.
China Hut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a
So
rest.
you get them too?
That's China Hut's right across the street from the sheriff's department, and that's why I always just use that China Hut
Oh, okay, okay.
or
Well, what
Pizza
do you
Hut.
want to
What,
leave with us, Sheriff Lott?
ma'am?
What do you want to leave with us tonight?
That I appreciate the support and love that people give us. I thank you.
Mhm.
Thank that everybody that we've got a church tomorrow that's doing drive-it through breakfast for our deputies. We have people who bring stuff to the sheriff's department all the time, and that they just show the love and respect for us, and I appreciate that. So I just want to thank people for what they've done to the men and women of the sheriff's department, and let them know that they do care about them and they appreciate the hard work that they do.
And for those of you out there, if you want to, what's the address? 5200 Two Notch Road.
5623 5623 Two Notch Road, Two Notch.
5623 Two Notch Road. Listen, he loves um, Dr. Pepper's, Dr. Pepper drinks. So you
No,
get a Dr. Pepper gift card. He
hey,
loves
I,
coffee and tea from McDonald's. You can get a McDonald's gift card. He like anything with them Gamecocks on it. He like anything with them Gamecocks on it. And I forgot the chewing gum that you said.
any kind of chewing gum. I like.
Any kind of chewing
Yeah,
gum.
I chew chewing gum in the gym every morning. So,
And then we already ordered your pineapple cake.
well, thank you.
We ordered that today.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I love my pineapple cake, and yet the lady that makes them for you and for me are just they're out of the world.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything else you would like to have? Because see, we
Uh,
gonna work this on this page here. We're gonna work this.
no, I just wish just tell people when they see me, just throw their hand up and give me a wave. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me.
Well, this is Gina said Clemson Tigers. She's a Clemson fan like me.
I got a daughter that went to Clemson, so that's okay.
It's
Uh,
okay.
it's okay. The Tigers okay, except when they play the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I do understand that. Now, since you are so popular, when you go to the games, do you have like a little penthouse?
No, no, I just got my regular seats that I have at the game. I just go, me and Bridget go sit in our regular seats, and Mackenzie's in town. She'll go too, but no, we just go in like all the fans do and go
I
take her.
thought you would have had the place where they got all the food and
No,
all that kind of stuff.
no, no, don't do that. I like to sit right there in my seats that I've got and watch the game. I go watch the game. I don't go to eat and do all that other stuff. I want to see the Gamecocks play.
So when you go to the game, so that means Bridget can't talk that much.
No. And when Mackenzie's playing, we don't even sit by each other. She gets too excited, and I'm the calm one. So, no.
Uh-huh. I see. Well, Sheriff Lott, you made a lot of people happy tonight by being on here. You can always come on whenever you want to come on. You are a joy, and I'm just so thankful to say that I work for you. You know, I have to, every time I post something, I have to say my boss.
Well, I appreciate that.
My
Appreciate
boss.
the work that you do, and appreciate this radio show and all your listeners you got out there. But thank you for what you do too.
All right. Now you go get you some rest and tell Bridget I say hello.
All right. Good night. Thank y'all.
Good night. All right now. Everybody, that was Sheriff Leon Lott with the Richland County Sheriff Department. And we want to thank all of y'all for tuning in tonight. It's been really, really good. On next Monday, we will have the legendary Jay Valentine from the Mighty Clouds of Joy. And then on Tuesday night, we will have the multiple Stellar Award winning Keith Wonderboy Johnson. That's our guest on next week. So we're trying to keep it real for you. Let me read a little bit of comments. God bless you, Arthur. Trisha Williams, hello to you. LaTracy, good night. Linda Johnson, you're welcome. It was so many people I wanted to go back up to the top and get them. Let's start with Rosa Sims Peterson, Eartha, Mabel Williams, Facebook user, Khalid Collins, Jervine Pyatt, Queens, New York. I got family members up there. I got family members in Queens. Tam Hall, Julia Lula Scurry, Mary King, Miss Evelyn Harris Law, Miss Dana Simmons, Miss Mickey Martin, Miss Mabel Williams. I think I did her. Try to get everybody a shout out. Linda Johnson, Miss Dina Brown, Miss Tammy, Whitson from Florida, Miss Marie Muzan from Patterson, New Jersey. Let me see who else I don't have. Stephanie Barnes. Let's see, where did she go? Stephanie Barnes, Melissa Griffin, Jeannie DeSouza. Lord help me with them names. I think I'm doing that right. Miss Verna Johnson. And let's see, Mr. Freddie Sumter. Did I do Miss Mamie Mitchell? Miss Mamie Mitchell. Mr. Minister Kenneth Groves. I think that's that. Laura Johnson. And Trisha Williams. It's been an awesome night, y'all. Thank you so very much always for your support, for your love. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate you so much. So we ask that you pray for me and I'll pray for you, and we're going to watch God change things. And we want you to be blessed and join us again on next Monday at 7 with the Mighty Clouds of Joy, one of the lead singers, Jay Valentine. Until then, be blessed and be safe.